You ever have one of those days where everything's going so right you almost forget the world can turn on you in a heartbeat? That was me, Marcus Tate, on a Thursday last spring, pulling into my driveway in Oak Ridge Meadows, thinking I'd earned a quiet night with a good steak and a glass of bourbon. But before I could even get my groceries inside, my neighbor decided to remind me that sometimes just existing in your own space is enough to make someone call the cops. I'm a numbers guy, senior financial analyst at a firm downtown, 35, with a master's from Morehouse I worked my tail off to get. After years of grinding, I bought this 3-bedroom brick house at 42 Elmwood Lane, nothing flashy, but mine, every square foot a testament to late nights and early mornings. That Thursday, I'd crushed a presentation, landed a big client, even got a nod from my boss, who's stingier with praise than a cat with affection. So, I swung by Harper's Market, the fancy organic place, and splurged prime ribeye, some truffle butter, a bottle of that small batch bourbon I'd been eyeing. I was riding high, the April breeze just cool enough to make the drive home feel like a victory lap. Around 6:30, I parked my navy Lexus SUV, popped the trunk, and started grabbing bags. That's when a voice hit me like a slap, shrill and sharp, cutting through the evening calm. "Excuse me, what do you think you're doing?" I turned, arms full of groceries, to see a woman charging across my lawn like she owned it. Late 50s, peroxide blonde hair and a ponytail so tight it looked painful, wearing a faded green tracksuit, and clutching a yappy little dog that looked more like a gremlin than a pet. "I'm sorry," I said, genuinely confused, shifting the bags in my grip. "Don't play dumb," she snapped, her face twisted in this cartoonish outrage. "I know what you're up to. This is Laura Mitchell's house, and she's in Florida visiting her brother." I blinked, half expecting a camera crew to jump out. "Ma'am, this is my house. I'm Marcus Tate. I've lived here a year." I nodded at my front door, keys dangling in my hand. Her eyes narrowed, dog yapping louder. "Laura's my best friend, and she didn't sell her house to you." The pause, the way her voice dipped, said everything she didn't. I felt that familiar burn in my chest, the kind you get when someone looks at your suit, your car, your house, and still decides you don't belong. "I'm calling the police," she declared, already fumbling with her phone. "We'll see what they have to say." I had a choice to go inside, hope the cops would listen, or stand my ground. I set the bags on the porch, pulled out my phone, and hit record. "Ma'am, I'm getting my groceries. You're welcome to watch," she hissed, covering her phone. "We both know those aren't yours." Then back to the dispatcher. "Yes, there's a man breaking into my neighbor's house, stealing Laura's groceries. He's tall, black, in a suit, very intimidating. Hurry." The absurdity almost made me laugh, but the stakes weren't funny. I'd heard too many stories, seen too many headlines. "You just said I'm stealing my own groceries?" I asked, keeping my camera steady. She pointed at the bags, triumphant. "Those are Laura's. She always buys ribeye." I took a deep breath. "I bought this house from the Carlsons last May, through Summit Realty. No, Laura Mitchell lives here." She scoffed. "The Carlsons? They moved years ago. Do you think I'm stupid? I've lived here 15 years. Before I could respond, a Prius pulled up across the street. My neighbors, Ellen and Greg Harper, stepped out, looking curious. "Marcus, everything okay?" Greg called. Relief hit me. He'd welcomed me with a casserole when I moved in. Good people. "Not really," I said. "She thinks I'm breaking into my own house." Ellen frowned, crossing the street. "Janice, what's going on?" Janice semi-accuser puffed up. "He's stealing from Laura Mitchell's house." Ellen's jaw dropped. "Laura Mitchell? From the book club? She lives on Cedar, not Elmwood, and she moved to a condo last year." Janice jabbed a finger at my house. "Not that Laura. The one who lives here." Greg shook his head. "Marcus lives here. We had him over for the 4th of July cookout, remember?" Janice's dog broke free, darting to my porch and knocking over a bag. A steak tumbled out, and she shrieked. "See? Laura's ribeyes." I couldn't hold back a laugh. "Lady, I paid $32 for those at Harper's. Want the receipt?" Her face went red, but she doubled down, muttering about con artists. That's when the sirens started, low at first, then louder, pulling up to my curb. My stomach tightened, but I kept recording. 2 cops got out: Officer Daniels, a black guy in his 50s with a seen-it-all vibe, and Officer Quinn, a white kid who looked fresh out of the academy. Janice rushed them, pointing at me like I was a wanted felon. That's him. He's breaking in, stealing Laura's groceries. Daniels glanced at me, his eyes calm but sharp. Sir, can I see some ID? I moved slow, deliberate, handing over my license, which listed 42, Elmwood Lane. I'm Marcus Tate. This is my house. I was unloading groceries from Harper's Market when she accused me of theft. I've got the receipt, house keys, mortgage papers inside if you need them. Daniels studied my ID, then the receipt I pulled from my pocket. Janice was vibrating with fury. He's lying. Laura would never sell to someone like him. Daniels raised an eyebrow. Like what, ma'am? She stammered. To someone she doesn't know. I kept my voice steady. I bought this from the Carlsons, through Teresa Lang at Summit Realty. Been here a year. Ellen chimed in. He's telling the truth. There's no Laura Mitchell here. Never has been. Daniels nodded. Sir, mind if I come inside to verify? I let him in, Janice still ranting outside. My living room leather couch, framed photos of my folks, my old trumpet on a stand told my story better than I could. Daniels glanced at a utility bill on the counter. Looks like your place, Mr. Tate. Back outside, the crowd had grown Mrs. Lopez from next door, the Carter teens snickering, half the street watching like it was a block party. Daniels turned to Janice. Ma'am, there's no break-in here. Mr. Tate lives here. Janice's voice cracked. Impossible. Laura never told me she sold. Greg sighed. Janice, you're thinking of someone else. The Carlsons lived here before Marcus. Her certainty was crumbling, but she clung to it, muttering about being the neighborhood watch captain. Ellen snorted. Since when? You skipped the last 3 HOA meetings. I saw my moment. Officers, I'd like to file a report for harassment and a false police call. She's made racially charged accusations and caused a scene. Janice gasped. How dare you? I'm protecting this street. Daniels scribbled in his notepad. Mr. Tate's got grounds for a complaint, ma'am. False reports are serious. Then I paused, feeling the weight of the choice. Actually, I've got another idea. Everyone froze. Janice, your actions could have put me in real danger, tied up police resources, scared my neighbors. Instead of charges, I want a public apology right now. I want you to donate $5,000 to the Community Youth Center on Pine Street. I want you to step down from any neighborhood roles, real or made up. And I want you to sign up for the city's diversity and inclusion workshops starting next week. The neighbors murmured, nodding. Janice's face went pale. $5,000? That's extortion. Daniel shrugged. It's voluntary, ma'am. You can take the charges instead. She looked around, finding no allies, and deflated. Fine, she muttered. I apologize for calling the police, for assuming you didn't live here, for making it about how you look. It wasn't perfect, but it was enough. I nodded. Apology accepted. That night, the street turned into something else. Greg fired up his grill, Mrs. Lopez brought her famous flan, and we ate under string lights in his backyard, laughing about Janice's past stunts like reporting a kid's lemonade stand for unpermitted commerce. I'd lived here a year, but that was the first time I felt home, swapping stories with folks I'd only waved to before. Janice even showed up later, dropping off a check and a tray of brownies, mumbling another sorry before scurrying off. I didn't eat the brownies, but I kept the check. Weeks later, Officer Daniels stopped by, off-duty, with news that floored me. Janice, who'd been posting as Vigilant I-47 on some blog called Community Sentinels, had written a tell-all, owning every mistake she made that night, calling out her own bias, linking to the youth center's donation page. It went viral, raising $25,000 and sparking talk of restorative justice models in other cities. At an HOA meeting, we agreed to lean into it, not hide from it, showing the world a neighborhood that didn't let prejudice slide. Janice wasn't there. Word was her husband, a smug realtor type, wasn't thrilled with her newfound humility. 2 months later, my doorbell rang while I was helping Greg's kid with algebra. There was Janice, no ponytail, no tracksuit, just jeans and a nervous smile, holding an envelope. Marcus, this is for you. Inside was a deed she and her husband had donated a lot next to the youth center for a new rec space. The workshops, they changed me, she said. I'm leaving him, moving to Seattle for a fresh start. I'm sorry, truly, for what I did. Her voice broke, And for the first time, I believed her. I appreciate that, Janice, I said, and meant it. She walked away, lighter, like she'd shed something heavy. Sitting on my porch that night with Greg, bourbon in hand, I thought about how Janice's attempt to push me out had pulled me in deeper, made me part of this place in a way I never expected. Her world unraveled, not because I fought her, but because I gave her a chance to face herself. Poetic, right? But that blog post, those donations, her leaving it makes me wonder, was this justice, or just the start of something bigger? What do you think? Ever had a neighbor turn your life upside down, or seen someone change when you least expected it? Drop a comment, tell me your story. And if this hit you, share it. Let's get people talking.